Hello, and welcome to this exploration of one of the most pivotal moments in medieval history, the Fall of Constantinople in 1453. This event marked not just the end of the Byzantine Empire, but also the final demise of the Roman Empire that had endured for nearly 1.5 millennia. I've long been fascinated by this siege, as it represents a true turning point between the medieval and early modern periods. Today, we'll delve into the details of this momentous event, examining its causes, the siege itself, and its far-reaching consequences. Before we dive into the siege itself, it's crucial to understand the context. By 1453, the once mighty Byzantine Empire was a shadow of its former self. Centuries of territorial losses, internal strife, and economic decline had left it vulnerable. The empire now consisted of little more than the city of Constantinople itself, along with a few scattered territories. Meanwhile, the Ottoman Empire under the ambitious young Sultan Mehmed II was rapidly expanding and had set its sights on the Byzantine capital. Mehmed, who was just 21 years old at the time, was determined to capture the city and make it the new capital of his burgeoning empire. The disparity in forces between the two sides was stark. The Byzantines, led by Emperor Constantine XI Palaeologus, could muster only about 7,000 defenders, including 2,000 foreign mercenaries. In contrast, Mehmed's army numbered between 50 and 80,000 men, supported by a substantial naval force. This imbalance would prove crucial in the coming siege. However, it's important to note that Constantinople's defences were formidable. The Theodosian walls in particular had repelled numerous attacks over the centuries and were considered among the strongest fortifications in the medieval world. As to surrendering the city to you, it is not for me to decide or for anyone else of its citizens, for all of us have reached the mutual decision to die of our own free will without any regard for our lives. The siege of Constantinople began on the 6th of April 1453. Mehmed's strategy was multifaceted. He positioned his forces to completely encircle the city, both on land and sea. The Ottoman navy blocked the entrance to the Golden Horn, the city's harbour, while the bulk of the army was arrayed along the land walls. One of Mehmed's most significant advantages was his artillery. The Ottomans had access to massive cannons, including one designed by a Hungarian engineer named Orban. This behemoth could fire stone balls weighing up to 600 pounds over a distance of a mile. The use of such advanced artillery marked a new era in siege warfare, as traditional fortifications struggled to withstand this firepower. The Byzantines, for their part, made the most of their limited resources. Emperor Constantine took personal command of the defence, positioning himself at the Mesotekion, the middle section of the land walls where an attack was most feared. The Genoese commander Giovanni Giustiniani, an accomplished soldier, was given overall command of the land wall defences. The defenders also had a secret weapon of sorts, a massive chain that could be stretched across the entrance to the Golden Horn, preventing enemy ships from entering. This chain had proven effective in previous sieges and would play a crucial role in the early stages of this one. As the siege progressed, both sides faced challenges. The Ottomans' initial attempts to breach the walls were repulsed with heavy losses. The defenders, though vastly outnumbered, fought with determination, knowing that the fate of their empire hung in the balance. Mehmed, frustrated by the slow progress, decided on a bold move. He ordered his ships to be transported overland, bypassing the chain across the Golden Horn. This manoeuvre, reminiscent of ancient siege tactics, caught the defenders by surprise and significantly weakened their position. It's a testament to Mehmed's strategic thinking and the resources at his disposal that he could undertake such a logistically complex operation. They found the Turks coming right up under the walls and seeking battle, particularly the Janissaries, and when one or two of them were killed, at once more Turks came and took away the dead ones, without caring how near they came to the city walls. Our men shot at them with guns and crossbows, aiming at the Turk who was carrying away his dead countrymen, and both of them would fall to the ground dead. And then there came other Turks and took them away, none fearing death, but being willing to let 10 of themselves be killed rather than suffer the shame of leaving a single Turkish corpse by the walls. As we approached the climax of the siege, the situation for the defenders was becoming increasingly desperate. By late May, the Ottomans had made several breaches in the outer walls, and the defenders were exhausted from constant fighting and lack of sleep. Mehmed, sensing victory was near, prepared for a final all-out assault. On the night of the 28th of May, he gave a rousing speech to his troops, promising them the riches of the city if they were victorious. The attack began just after midnight on the 29th of May. The Ottoman attack came in waves. First came the Christian vassals and mercenaries, followed by the Anatolian troops, and finally the elite Janissary corps. The defenders fought bravely, but they were simply overwhelmed by the sheer numbers of the attackers. A crucial moment came when Giovanni Giustiniani was wounded and had to be carried from the walls. His departure caused panic among the defenders, and soon after, the Ottomans managed to break through the gate of St. Romanus. As Ottoman troops poured into the city, Emperor Constantine, realizing all was lost, reportedly cast off his imperial regalia and led a final charge against the invaders. He was never seen again. The Emperor Constantine, seeing that the enemy had entered the city at this point and that his own men, unequal to the task before them, were turning back, said, "The city is taken, but I am still alive." And so saying, he drew his sword and, like any common soldier, flew at the enemy. The fall of Constantinople was accompanied by widespread looting and violence, as is often the case in medieval warfare. Many of the city's inhabitants sought refuge in the Hagia Sophia, hoping that its sanctity would protect them. However, the Ottoman soldiers, in their frenzy of victory, respected no boundaries. The great church, which had stood as a symbol of Byzantine Christianity for nearly 1,000 years, was desecrated and later converted into a mosque. This transformation of the Hagia Sophia would become one of the most enduring symbols of the Ottoman conquest. The fall of Constantinople sent shockwaves throughout Europe. Many saw it as a catastrophic event for Christian civilization, and there were fears that other European kingdoms might suffer a similar fate. Pope Pius II strongly advocated for another crusade to reclaim the city, but found little support among the war-weary European monarchs. The fall of Constantinople also had profound intellectual consequences. Many Greek scholars fled to Italy, bringing with them important texts and knowledge that would contribute to the Renaissance. For Mehmed, the conquest of Constantinople was just the beginning. He set about transforming the city into the capital of his empire, repairing its damaged infrastructure and encouraging resettlement. He took the title Caesar, Caesarium, positioning himself as the successor to the Roman emperors. This claim was, of course, contested by others, including the Russian Tsars and the Holy Roman Emperors. The fall of Constantinople thus set the stage for centuries of geopolitical rivalry between the Ottoman Empire and the Christian powers of Europe. Fellow soldiers, this one thing was lacking to make the glory of such a victory complete. Now, at this happy and joyful moment of time, we have the riches of the Greeks, we have won their empire, and their religion is completely extinguished. Our ancestors eagerly desired to achieve this. Rejoice now, since it is your bravery which has won this kingdom for us. The conquest also had significant religious implications. While Mehmed initially allowed a degree of religious freedom, over time, the Ottoman Empire's Islamic character became more pronounced. The conversion of the Hagia Sophia into a mosque was a powerful symbol of this shift. However, it's worth noting that the Ottoman Empire at its height was remarkably diverse and often more tolerant of religious minorities than many contemporary Christian kingdoms. The complex legacy of the conquest continues to shape discussions about religious and cultural identity in Turkey and the broader region to this day. As we reflect on the fall of Constantinople, it's clear that its impact extended far beyond the immediate aftermath. In many ways, 1453 marks a symbolic end to the Middle Ages and the beginning of the early modern period. The fall of the city accelerated the flow of classical learning to the West, contributing to the intellectual ferment of the Renaissance. It also spurred technological innovation, particularly in military technology. The effectiveness of Ottoman cannons in breaching Constantinople's walls led to a revolution in fortification design across Europe. The conquest also had profound psychological effects on both Eastern and Western Christianity. For Eastern Orthodox Christians, the loss of Constantinople was a devastating blow. Many saw it as divine punishment for the sins of the Byzantine Empire, particularly its perceived betrayal of orthodoxy and seeking union with the Catholic Church. In the West, the fall of Constantinople contributed to an apocalyptic mood and spurred efforts to unite Christendom against the Ottoman threat. This fear of Ottoman expansion would shape European politics for centuries to come. The news spread rapidly across the Islamic world. In Egypt, good tidings were proclaimed, and Cairo decorated to celebrate this greatest of conquests. The Sharif of Mecca wrote to Mehmed, calling the Sultan, the one who has aided Islam and the Muslims, the Sultan of all kings and sultans. In conclusion, the fall of Constantinople in 1453 was truly a world-changing event. It marked the end of the Roman imperial tradition that had shaped European civilization for over a millennium. At the same time, it heralded the rise of the Ottoman Empire as a major power that would dominate the Eastern Mediterranean and Balkans for centuries. The reverberations of this momentous event continue to be felt today, in fields ranging from international relations to architecture. As we've seen, understanding the fall of Constantinople is crucial for grasping the transition from the medieval to the modern world. I hope this exploration of the fall of Constantinople has given you a deeper appreciation of its historical significance. The story of the siege, with its drama, tragedy, and far-reaching consequences, continues to captivate historians and general audiences alike. It's a reminder of how single events can reshape the course of history in profound and unexpected ways. Thank you for joining me on this journey through one of history's pivotal moments. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Your support really does make a difference to the channel. Let me know what other historical events or periods you'd like me to cover in future videos.